Today on Fashion Guide, the main trends of the season and some exclusive collections by Kazakh designers who presented their works at the Almaty Pop Up Store, the Paul Gaultier exhibition in Paris. Fashion competition. Local companies are gaining more and more popularity among ex-fans of the popular brands. And a fashion film by Luis Vuitton, shot in Jaipur. To paraphrase something the legendary Coco Chanel said, she couldn't stand it when fashion came from the streets, but loved it when it went back there. Temporary conceptual trade areas are the best example of how designer collections and runway trends can become available to the average person. The Almaty Pop Up Store is an event where the fashion pieces in every square meter literally roll. There are debut collections by beginners and pieces by popular designers that have traveled the world. Clothes, accessories, headdresses, the spectrum is very broad. This exhibit was the first in what became a wave of places like this in Kazakhstan. We wanted to push young designers, to take them in the right direction right away so they could keep moving forward. This time, 47 designers participated in the Almaty Pop Up Store, and half of them got a chance to present their capsule collections thanks to this event. These capsule collections are very popular. They are limited, and that's why they're usually all sold out in a short amount of time. Brightness, juiciness, and contrast. That's what the new Sakin Jaksibayev collection is all about. The designer was inspired by Andy Warhol and presented looks styled like pop art. Playful sweatshirts and aquamarine jeans. This is the ideal look for someone who's all about the avant-garde. It seems to me that these jeans are perfect for these sweatshirts with some white sneakers. Or these jeans with a white shirt, and you can accessorize with some icons, and you'll be very trendy. Well, these looks from Leonid Zhiribtsov look a little bit like a doll because it seems that they were made out of paper. But that's okay. They're not easy to rip off. On the contrary, it's highly recommended to crumple them. This is a new fabric we purchased from St. Petersburg. Paper fabric. You can wear it, you can wash it, it doesn't break. And the best part is that people will take notice of it because they will think that you're wearing paper. And that's really cool. Designer Zinara Nurlan offers sea-colored looks in her capsule collection. Fabrics in her collection are textured and bright. The designer presented another collection in England a little while ago, while participating in the Young Designers exhibition. The managers of London Fashion were scouting, and they chose us, so we went there. We presented an autumn-winter collection, inspired by a herbarium, with prints and cold tones. The Almaty Pop-Up Store can definitely be called one of the most important and biggest events in the world of Kazakh fashion. And not just because designers make new collections for it. The number of people who attend this event rivals the number of people who attend fashion weeks. Fashion's enfant terrible is being honored in his hometown. The new exhibit dedicated to Paul Gaultier has opened in Paris. There are 336 pieces picked from 175 looks that the maestro created between 1976 and 2015. Gaultier is the creator of the infamous Madonna corset bustier, as well as scene costumes for Kylie Minogue, and also costumes for Pedro Almodovar's films and for Luc Besson's Fifth Element. Despite the huge exhibit, the designer himself does not think that this is a comprehensive retrospective of his creations. But otherwise, I tried to display them theme by theme. Themes that are important to me, like working on skin, tattoos, piercings, etc. Androgenicity, the strong woman, the sexy woman as well, corsets, ethnicity, different ethnicities. I tried to put all this together. There are also personal items from the designer's childhood, which appear to inspire him. The couturier says that it was his grandmother who was the one to help him choose his profession. I was lucky that my grandmother was different, that she had black feathers and an extraordinary corset. She also gave beauty advice to her clients. I was there and I witnessed this. I was probably 9 or 10 years old, and I would draw the women before and after, in the way that they appeared to me, which used to really amuse them. And I would also hear my grandmother saying to them, "You have to make nice little dishes for your husband, and maybe you can also change your clothes, style your hair differently, make a small change." So little by little, without realizing it, I grasped the importance of clothing. The famous fruits of his collaborations with actors, dancers, producers, and worldwide stars are presented in the exhibit. The first exhibit was in 2011 in Montreal. After that, they opened everywhere: Dallas, Madrid, Rotterdam, Melbourne. The show at the Grand Palace is the 10th event created especially for Paris.
Paris is the 10th venue of this incredible tour after 1.5 million visitors. So for Paris it was important that Mr. Gaultier felt at home. It's like the return of the enfant terrible in Paris.
Paul Gaultier is a fashion genius. He's a master of sewing with a wide imagination and a fresh look on the world. His fashion house opened in the early 80s, but last year the couturier refused to release clothes and accessories. The world of fashion has changed. There are enormous groups, and it's power, much more of that, a lot of marketing, many more guidelines to follow, which I was not used to. I was extremely lucky to be free in what I was doing and to set my own limits, my own boundaries. Nowadays, if one must go through filter after filter, well, then I'm too old for that. There's also some kind of hint in this exhibition, says the managers. The maestro is making a statement about race unity. That can even be seen in the skin colors of the mannequins. The 7-day fashion week in Beijing tried to crush the leadership of such brands as Prada and Gucci. They've shown an alternative vision of the fashion tendencies. One of the most awaited shows was the presentation by Chinese designer Hu Shiguan, who works in Amsterdam. The designer became popular after several models fell on the runway during his show. When everyone thinks of cotton-padded jackets, they will think of memories from their childhood. Their grandmother, their grandfather on the kang, tobacco pipes, a kind of stinky smell. But you can't find that kind of feeling anymore. It's a feeling people from my generation had. So I hope that before it disappears, I can use my take to display it for everyone. Hu claims that lots of designers are looking for ways to bring a piece of their culture into their creations. Everyone's searching and exploring for the most sophisticated way to elevate Chinese fashion to the highest level, how to do things with especially Chinese flavor. I think in the last 2 years, people have been constantly searching, and China has more of the new generation of fashion weeks. However, Chinese designers have to compete with such fashion titans as Louis Vuitton and Prada, although they are becoming more and more popular in their country. There are still quite a lot of people in my age group who will try to buy 1 or 2 bags by Louis Vuitton or Coach. Perhaps it's not necessarily that they like the style, but more that this is the same product that such and such a celebrity owns, or because it's some kind of proof of your status. If you look at the sales in the Chinese market, you can see that in the past, it has always been the products with logos that were selling the best. Now this kind of purchasing is gradually decreasing. Everyone is advocating real fashion design and more vibrant fashion waves, and this is currently diluting the logo. The competition between local Chinese and global brands is a good thing in general, but professionals from China are aware that there are always going to be some knockoffs made by local manufacturers. Louis Vuitton presented a video to promote their summer collection. In honor of the hot season, the creative director for the men's line, Kim Jones, took his film crew to the pink Indian city, Jaipur. The shooting took place on the rooftops with amazing city views of the magical fog and architectural domes of the massive buildings. The mood of the campaign was complemented by beautiful and mystical Indian music. The summer looks for Louis Vuitton's men's collection are classic costumes, with bright shirts and pink and orange bombers. And that's all for today. Keep watching Fashion Guide on Kazakh TV. we have a fascinating upcoming episode.